God sent a prophet to speak directly to his church today, what would he say? I believe we don't need to guess. The same message that the ancient prophets boldly spoke to God's people is the same message we need to hear today. For example, the ancient prophet Hosea in chapter 4 and verse 22 says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because you have rejected knowledge, and since you have forgotten the law of God." Isaiah, the prophet, says something similar in Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13. "My people go into exile. Why? For their lack of knowledge." Now, the kind of knowledge that the prophets are speaking here aren't just biblical facts and figures to memorize for an exam. Rather, these are truths that are recorded in sacred scripture that reflect the character and nature of God. You see, these truths are the bridge that leads us into a deeper knowledge of God himself. Jesus Christ, the final prophet, the very Son of God, pleads with his church to hear his words. 7 times over, he speaks these commanding words in the book of Revelation. "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches." If I could be honest, I believe the evangelical church has very little knowledge of God. You cannot love whom you do not know. Together, let's refresh our minds with the knowledge of God. See, this fall, we will be launching Refresh Theology. The word theology just means the study of God. Therefore, theology matters. Why? Because God matters. Psalm 145, verse 3 puts it beautiful. "Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. His greatness is unsearchable." Let's recapture the greatness and beauty of the Lord. Our aim at Refresh Theology is learn in order to love. My prayer is that as you learn about God, your heart will be radically changed to love God and others more. We want to saturate our minds and hearts with the knowledge of God. We will use a blend of confessions and creeds to guide us on this theological journey. However, we will use the scriptures as the ultimate standard, and all other resources will come under the authority of scriptures. We will begin by examining the doctrine of revelation. That is the groundbreaking reality that God speaks to us today. This will be a 6-week series that will only scratch the surface of the beauty contained in sacred scripture. I'm delighted to announce that my co-pastor, Brad Williams from City Light Church, will join this series, Refresh Theology. He'll be tackling the majestic doctrine of the Trinity. You don't want to miss this brand new series, Refresh Theology. Let's learn theology together so we can love better.